We live?
We are live.
We're live.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Chaz and Trista here with Side Hustle Pros. Going to be doing, this is the first
live in a while.
First live we've done just solo together.
Not ever, surely.
For a while.
Okay.
Usually we've had guest speakers or it's just myself. But we are now back on a regular night Thursday schedule. So we actually have a babysitter who's going to be watching our little one. So we can be here with you guys for an hour every Thursday night at usually 5 p.m. Right now we're about 12 minutes behind. So we do apologize for that. But from 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we will be here and bring a topic of the week. Sometimes we'll have guest speakers, all that fun stuff. So comment below. Let us know where you guys are watching from and how your guys' day is going.
So we're late. My babysitter, she locked her and my child out of the house. So I was thinking I was going to have to run home. So can't see anything.
Kirk, if you can hear me, you'll have to refresh your browser.
Anyway, crisis averted. I have awesome neighbors and we're fine.
All good to go.
Everyone got in the house.
Shout out to Tony, who's in Woodburn. That's 40 minutes here from here. Anyone who is in Oregon.
Yes.
Next Saturday, right?
The 21st.
Next Saturday, the 21st, we're doing a little it's not going to be super fancy, but we're just going to do a pop-up Side Hustle Pros meetup. So we got a dinner spot hooked up over at, what was it called?
The Ram's Head.
McMiniman's. So we've got enough room for about 30.
20. I
20,
told him 20.
20-ish. We'll stick with that.
We will not turn you away, though.
Yeah. So if you guys are in the Portland area, next Saturday, we didn't make the event page yet.
No,
let's make an event page tonight after we're done with this. So if you're watching the recording, the event page link will be in the description below already. Oh, we got another Woodburn person in here too. We get a lot of Woodburn people.
There should be 20 people there.
Yeah,
there's plenty of people in Oregon, Portland area.
Yeah, so if you guys want to come hang out, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Just open-ended. We'll be there for probably
it'll be really
2-3 hours, something like that, just until the last person leaves. So we'll make an event page. It's going to be in the description of the video below. Click on that. It's a Facebook event page, and that will give you the address and details and all that fun stuff. But aside from that, we're going to talk about stuff tonight.
We're going to talk about stuff that applies to both eBay and Amazon and pretty much any business.
Any business.
I mean, not all of them. If you're selling Jamberry, this probably doesn't help you.
Not too much. Sorry, guys. Sorry, so Jamberry. We're trying to think of a good topic for you guys that we can kind of bounce back and forth on. And this is an engaging conversation, guys. So don't feel like it's just us talking to you. Like if you're in the comment section, especially if you're here live with us right now, feel free to drop your input, drop your tips, and kind of go back and forth with us. We're happy to answer questions. So drop your questions along the way. But the topic of the night, we were thinking of, what's something that we can not necessarily teach, but just give our advice on based on where we are.
Or just our experience. Yeah. We don't even know if this will help everyone, but
yeah. And we have a lot of new subscribers lately. So welcome to the channel. Thank you guys for subbing. So if you don't know who we are, my name's Charles. It's my lovely wife.
I'm Trista.
Who are you? Trista.
Hey.
So husband and wife team, we are entrepreneurs full-time. We don't have jobs anymore. I quit my job. I was a full-time massage therapist for, I think it was 7 years full-time. And then I cut back to very part-time after that. Now I don't do it anymore. But that was my prior career. You were medical field?
I was a medical assistant and I actually loved what I did. I think you loved what you loved your job.
We learned there's a big difference between loving what you do, but not being happy with your environment and it's not even your environment really. It's hard to explain. Some of you will get this. It's being tied to someone else's agenda, not being able to create your own schedule, not being able to live life on your own terms. And that for us was the reason we wanted to start our own business, start being self-employed so that, yes, we understand it's a lot more work than we would have ever imagined, but it's so worth it because we can do what we want. We can, especially with Amazon, eBay, you can work from anywhere. It's amazing because we can pick up and move somewhere and we can take our whole business with us. So we're not tied to one spot. So for us, it all came down to time freedom. That's really what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Especially back when you were working. I had quit my job for almost 5 years ago. This July will be 5 years. And so I quit my job a few years before she did. So when we had our little one, Titus, who's now 3, at the time he was what, 6 months or 1 year?
He turned 1, and then a month later I was able to quit my job. And that was, I know there's a lot of moms who can identify with this. It's just like, you think you're going to be fine going back to work, and then you just realize how much you are not fine. And after I had spent a few months back at my full-time job, which was, I was supposed to go back part-time permanently, and then that
didn't work.
That didn't work. We had people quit, and then, you know, they wouldn't, somebody had to pick up the slack. So I ended up doing that. And after 3 or 4 months of my 6 month old being taken care of by, you know, other people, you know, and it's fine for some people. I had a really, really hard time with it. And I said, let's do this.
Yeah.
I will do anything. Do you want me to dig ditches? Can Titus come? I don't know.
I remember the hard part for you too was you had to be at work at like 6:30, 6:45.
Yeah, I was early.
And so it was me and Titus I woke up with him and took care of him every single morning. I remember that was the hardest part for you to work with, is not being able to wake up and there's your boy. And that's when we first started looking at, okay, well, this Amazon thing's starting to pick up. Let's see if we can make it to the point where she can quit her job, which we were able to do. Yeah. Fortunately.
So Mandy, I see your question, and we're going to like kind of go through all of your guys' questions. We'll answer every single one. But your question is like number 2 on the slot. So if you could just hang tight, I will totally get you, girl.
Should we dive in?
Let's do it.
All right. So we were looking at,
he's reading.
Oh, no, I know what he's talking about. I was reading. Yeah, I know he's right.
Can you
I
fix
forgot
your
that
mic?
I did switch this.
Oh, sorry. I tap. I move. I don't sit still very well. They were saying that you guys can hear the taps when we like tap the desk or like move.
Check 1, 2. Let me know if that's a little bit better on the mic.
Maybe better. Yeah.
Don't tap the table.
I'm sorry.
Please. Check 1, 2.
Can you tell we're ready?
It's so funny. Yeah, so we're going to dive in. We're looking at a good topic to bring to the table is how to scale your business, because a lot of people are stuck in the having a full-time job, kind of doing eBay, kind of doing Amazon, and not really sure how to bring it from like $1,000 a month up to 5,000, which I think $5,000 a month allows a lot of people to quit their job. And I'm talking about like what you're taking home. I feel like that's a good $5,000 a month. Most people can live on fine. So I feel like that was a good topic to bring here. Was 3 of the main things that we did was that allowed us to be able to not only quit our jobs, but to sustain the lifestyle that we have and have the business pay for a lot of stuff, including traveling, little mini vacations every quarter. We like to kind of get away and just do something fun for a weekend every quarter.
Absolutely.
So that's what we want to bring to the table for you guys. So hopefully you take something out of it.
Yeah.
All right. We're good on mic now.
Looks like the mic is good.
Thank you.
So I think the first thing definitely is that you have to spend a fair amount of time in the trenches, right? Like you can't just do eBay or Amazon kind of halfway and then go, I'm tired of this. I'm going to push it all off to somebody else. I'm going to hire someone or train them, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to be able to train someone to then do that job so that you can scale. Mistakes will be made and your business will suffer, if not get suspended. So can you talk a little more about this, Charles?
The first thing I thought of was when the first time I was going to hire my assistant, and she fought me on this for like 4 months. I was all over the place doing all the things myself. And this is really before you kind of got the like entrepreneur click in your mindset.
I don't think so.
This was early on though. This was early on.
Maybe early on.
So I understood the benefit of outsourcing, but I never outsourced. I knew that I had to at some point. I was so spread thin with all these small tasks, so I needed to hire an assistant. And she fought me for like 4 months because it's easy to look at hiring somebody as just an expense. If you're going to pay somebody $500 a month or $1,000 a month for whatever job, it's easy to look at it as you're losing the money, but you're not, because whatever you're paying somebody to outsource those tasks to, that opens up your time to do better things that make you more money. And that was a hard thing for us to wrap our head around. But after 4 months, I finally hired somebody. But before that, you asked me a question. It was, okay, you can hire somebody, but what are you going to have them do? And that's when I went,
So, and to before this, months before this, I knew he was overwhelmed. He was killing himself. You know, we were only in our garage, so that was really nice. We didn't have an overhead of the office, and you know, we were surviving, but I could tell that he was getting really burnt out. And so I would always tell him, give me something. I'll do anything you need me to do. Just give me things. And he would be like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it.
I was such a control freak.
Do it. And probably part of the reason you wouldn't give over stuff to me, whether it be helping with adminning some of our groups or just being more involved in Amazon at the time, was because you were so like, I don't know, you didn't have a clear process for everything.
None of it.
So of course, handing over any kind of job to someone when you don't have a clear process yourself, you know things are going to get missed because you're missing them already. You know, and you were I love you, but you were dropping some balls.
I will openly admit, I drop balls all the time. I promised everything to everyone, and I was always late on deadlines. Some of them never even got finished or started. And it was when I sat down, I finally got my processes down for what I was doing in my business. And we run multiple streams of income. So I had a different set of tasks for each thing. And I didn't have them clear set on how my systems were for each thing.
Right.
It's when I did that, and then I hired on an assistant, and then we got virtual assistants, and now we have physical employees. That's when we started to really scale, is when we started to figure out what exactly we were going to focus on ourselves. And I think that's a big mistake a lot of people try to make, is they try to hire a little bit too soon without really understanding the grind themselves.
Right.
Because you can't teach somebody a process if you don't fully understand it yourself.
So to put that into like a real situation that you guys could, kind of maybe wrap your heads around a little bit more, for eBay, I can't hire someone to help me with eBay and have them come in on, I can't have them come 2 or 3 days a week if I'm not having enough work for them to do when they come, right? So that means that my schedule has to be ironclad. I have to get out and source on Mondays and Tuesdays. And that way, when Wednesday, Thursday, Friday comes, I have things for my employees to do. Also, when they get here, I have to have clear workstations, clear kind of guidelines of how I want my pictures done or my listings done. So if you don't know how exactly you're doing those things, if it's just kind of sporadic and like, you do what you feel like doing this day, and, you might get this done, you might not. If you have like those very unclear boundaries, you're not going to be able to use your employees effectively, and you're going to end up paying them to stand around.
Which that's what happened to me.
Sucks.
The first couple of months I tried to hire somebody physically here to be at the office and like help me prep Amazon stuff. I tell them to come in, and I was so scattered with all my stuff. They would come in and I'd be like, I don't know what I got for you today.
Yeah.
So that was a tough one to really figure out for myself. But at the end of the day, it's just focus on your craft is what it comes down to. Focus on your craft. Know everything inside and outside of your business before you do step 2, which is outsource.
Which is so fun.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Everybody loves this word.
It was amazing. Like we kind of delegate roles, and we could talk about that after we're done giving you guys the 3 things. But we both have different sets of tasks that we do. So we both were able to hire somebody for what we individually needed.
Yeah.
Which was a big one. So when it comes to outsourcing, there's This is a huge topic. There's all kinds of outsourcing you can do, especially in Amazon world and eBay world. You're going to hear a lot about VAs, which is virtual assistants, which we have 5 total between online arbitrage and wholesale sourcing. We've got a video editor and I've got a graphics person. So we have a team of virtual assistants, and then we have physical employee that will take the photos for eBay and measurements and that kind of stuff. You want to touch base on like the difference between when you're doing everything yourself versus now having our employee here every week?
I'm sure all of you already know this. Like, you cannot do it all. You just can't. You can at the beginning because you're doing little incremental of each job, you know, like an hour photographing. And then, you know, in that hour, you might get 20 or 30 items photographed. And then those 20 or 30 items will you might do 5 or 10 of them per day. So they might last you up to all week. So you're not doing a huge chunk. But once you start deciding to do those bigger chunks, then you just can't do all of the things. I couldn't anyway.
Yeah. Same thing here. And when you actually start to get good at something, start looking at what you do best and then outsource the small stuff. So if you're in Amazon world, because again, I do primarily the Amazon work. She'll do primarily the eBay. So I can talk to the Amazon people on this level where the number one thing you should outsource first is your prep work, right? Your prepping and your shipping of your items. Your time is not best spent prepping, taking labels off, taking off stickers, putting labels on, and putting stuff in a box. That's not where your time is best spent. Yes, you have to get the product shipped out. Your time, though, is best spent inside of stores or online researching and ordering products. That's where your money is made, is on the actual product investments. That's where you need to really focus your time. So if you're caught up, like when I finally outsourced for my prepping, my shipping of all my Amazon inventory, I outsourced it when I finally hit the point where I was here at the office till midnight almost every night prepping and shipping stuff. Almost every night. There was like a 2-week period where I wasn't even home.
It was Q4.
It was Q4. So I was putting extra grind time, but at the same time I knew that was, even with how great Q4 was, and you know, we made a lot of money in Q4, but even with that, it almost, in a sense, because I want my time freedom, wasn't worth me being here at the office till midnight, because then it turned into a job for myself. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I don't like being tied down to something like that. I like freedom. And so I outsourced for the first time. I hired somebody to come in and prep our stuff. And the fact that I can leave the office and then come back and there's an Amazon shipment ready to go was like mind blowing for me, because I'd done it myself for 2 full years.
And he was so determined that he was the only one that could take those stickers off.
I take stickers off the best. Like, you guys, I understand that it's letting go of control is the hardest freaking part about hiring people. But I can tell you, the little stuff like the photos, the measurements when it goes to eBay, and then Amazon when it comes to like prepping and shipping and boxing, you may be the best, but you can hire out for $10-12 an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
Hire it out. That's the first thing that should be hired out. Then when you get to the next level and you get really, really good at one method of sourcing, then you can train a shopper or a sourcer to do that part for you too.
Right.
So if you're doing like retail and online arbitrage, actually we can split those up. If you're doing RA, retail arbitrage, you can train somebody to, you know, whether you give them a list of products to go buy from like Walmart, Target, wherever, or if you train them how to read Keepa and do their own purchases, you can train somebody to go do that part for you. So you're not doing the driving.
But that's definitely the last thing.
That's one of the last things that you're going to outsource, because it's the biggest risk factor on putting on someone else. But if you get to that point, we know several $1 million+ sellers that do RA, and that's how they do it, is they outsource the shopping. Because I love doing RA, but I got so burnt out on the driving.
Right.
Because we live in an area, if you saw my Ross video, you know what I'm talking about. We live in an area where we have a tiny Walmart and we have a tiny Ross here in our little town. and we have to drive for 45 minutes to get to the nearest Target. We have to drive 45 minutes to get to the nearest, what was Toys R Us.
Yeah.
But we have hours, like it's a full 8-hour day if I decide to go out and do a full day of RA.
Yeah.
It's not worth my time to go out to just 1 or 2 stores and then come back, and that's 3 hours. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to make a whole sourcing trip out of it. That's the last thing that you'll probably outsource is the shopping. But I've done this. I've hired on shoppers, especially during Q4. I had 2 full-time shoppers that were going out for one specific product, and we got hundreds of them, and we sold almost 1,000 units, and they were 1,000 units that I didn't even source myself. It was my shoppers that did it. Right. But that helped us to be able to kill it in Q4 the way that we did.
So one of the things I wanted to touch on is, how do you find someone, especially a physical body, to do this work for you, right? Because you're like, okay, I'm at this point where I'm trying to do 100+ clothing a week, or I'm in the thrift stores and I've got hordes of stuff. I don't have time to photograph it and list it and keep shopping. I need someone physically here, right? So the way we did it, and I'm sure there's 100 other ways to do this.
There's so many.
We've had friends that, well, okay, I'll tell you what I did, and then we'll talk about other stuff. So we just wanted someone that could come in 4 to 6 hours a week at the beginning. And kind of trial run it as well.
And that's in 1 day a week. And we love this method because she comes in and she does everything in bulk. So she'll take tons of photos, tons of measurements of the eBay stuff, the clothing primarily.
Yeah.
So she'll do everything in bulk. So then you have photos and measurements ready to be listed throughout the rest of the week. Yeah. Which is super nice.
Right. So we are in quite a few buy, sell, trade on Facebook groups, and everyone has them. If you guys are flipping stuff, you're in these groups. So we just put out there that we were looking for a part-time employee, apply here. And then we actually made an actual application just like a job, because you're an employer. So we wanted to know experience, why you wanted to work for us. Have you sold on eBay? Have you bought from eBay? So we made up an application. We probably got, I don't know, like
25 or 30 applications.
Like a lot of applications. But then when we would go through them, like they didn't have transportation, just those kinds of things that it's, like not stuff that we wanted to try and
you guys get super easy to do that, by the way. Just go to Google and you can use a Google form to make your own little questionnaire. So you give them a link, and it's basically the application with all the questions you want to ask up front. And then we took those applicants and we narrowed them down to the top 3 or 4. And then we just set up Starbucks meetings, and we just sat and talked to each one for 10 minutes and narrowed down the one that we liked.
And then it was pretty no-brainer. She was great, and she's been with us for a really long time, like almost a year.
Almost a full year now.
She works really hard. So, but we have done this process, and we tried to hire on a second person and went through the process, found someone that we really liked at the beginning. But then when she started working, it definitely wasn't going to work out. So don't be surprised if you have to go through some people that just don't work out, their work ethic isn't there, or, personality clash or whatever.
And the big thing too, with dealing with product, is make sure you have enough inventory to keep them busy. Because there were several times that for whatever reason, I made excuses, or I was just busy that week. I didn't get out and source like normal. So our employee would show up and they would only have like a half hour of work, because I didn't have many products. So if you're going to hire somebody for prepping and shipping stuff, or photos and measurements for eBay, make sure you're constantly sourcing it. Anything you outsource is only buying you more time to source more. Your time is best spent inside of stores. That's where, or if you're on Amazon, then finding wholesale, private label, that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. So I did see that question. And
let's hit on, if you guys, I know this is a huge topic. Let's talk about outsourcing.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions, now's the time to ask those. And if we have any experience with it, we're more than open books for you guys.
Right. So we 1099 our employees, and I think that the only difference between 1099 and W-2, I mean, they're not the only difference, but one of the things that makes an employee versus an independent contractor is telling them that they have to be at work at this time from this time. And I don't do that with the person that we hire for eBay. I tell her, these are the days that I'm going to be at the office. Come by when you can get your work done. So that's what she does.
And I'll just put a little disclaimer there that you should talk to your CPA before you decide, W-2 versus 1099 stuff, because every state is a little bit different, and it depends on how lenient or not lenient. It depends on how fine you want to ride the line with certain things, because there is hourly limitations. You can only get away with a 1099 contractor for so many hours per week until you are required to make them a W-2. So I highly recommend just talk to a CPA before you go down that road too.
Yeah.
Jason asks, how much profit per month were you guys making before hiring a VA? The first VA we hired was for tactical arbitrage for online sourcing. And it was not much. I want to say I looked at tactical arbitrage was at the time was $100 a month. So I knew I needed to make that to break even. And so I was personally using it every single day and sourcing and all that good stuff. So I was making $100 a month in the beginning. That was my goal, to break even on it, to pay for itself. Then it was, I wanted to profit $250. That's when I hired on a VA. So it was $250 profit my first 2 months. That's when I'm okay, I'm going to outsource this, because a VA I can hire for $4 or $5 an hour. So cheap.
They're really inexpensive to hire. And if you find a good person, they can find you quite a few things in an hour.
Yeah, it's insane.
So, and depending on how much capital you have or don't have, you don't need a lot of product to make it worth the while.
I hate the prepping, my least favorite part. Me too. I was very, very happy when I outsourced the prepping stuff. Do not enjoy that whatsoever. How do you pay your tactical arbitrage VAs per product found? We actually go through Upwork.com, which I love. I know there's tons of other ones. There's onlinejobs.ph. There's all kinds of different websites to hire virtual assistants. I love Upwork because it acts as an escrow account. So before you pay the VA directly, Upwork will hold it. So if for some reason, which we've had these situations come up, if for some reason there's something that happens where the VA, didn't show up and do the work, or if they were working, if they were charging off the clock type of that's a whole nother situation we can talk about down the road. But if something happens with the VA, you can just tell Upwork hey, they didn't do the work they were hired for. Upwork will give you that money back. So it works as an escrow account, which is why I like using it. So we pay them per hour is what we pay. And we have 3 total that we use for that.
Q4 is fourth quarter of the year. So
Q4 is beauty. That's what it is. It's amazing. Oh, what's up? Anthony's from Oregon too.
Nice.
Are we hitting the Eugene book sale this weekend? We're not. I would love to hit a book sale, especially Eugene, because they've got some really good stuff down there.
You're going to...
I'm going to WizardCon on Friday.
A wizard convention.
Which I'm excited about. It's like a Comic-Con.
I actually wish I could go to, but I can't.
So I get to meet Sean Austin, and I actually have Sean Austin, if you don't know, he played Samwise the Great.
Who doesn't know that? I know that.
Some people don't know the actor's names.
Okay.
I don't know some actor's name. That's fine. So he played Sam.
And he was Bob.
In
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. So I have the Stranger Things. You guys know I love my Funkos, right? Yeah. So I have the Stranger Things chase of Dart. If you watch Stranger Things, you know what that is. So I have the chase. I'm going to have him sign that. So I'm super excited. I'm not going to sell that. I'm going to.
Do they make a Bob Funko?
They do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I should find it.
Actually, could you grab one of those boxes?
I'm sure curious now. Don't make Bob Funko.
Because I remember I looked at the back of one of the boxes and I couldn't see I didn't see if they had a Bob. If they make a Bob Funko, I need one though. We have I'll show you guys.
Well, it won't be on this one because Bob wasn't on this.
We have a Stranger Things Funko up there.
Dart.
I love that Dart.
It doesn't say.
Yeah, I don't know if they made a Bob one.
There There's 11.
Which sucks because he was such a crucial character.
Will, Dustin, Joyce, Max. No.
Dang it. So I'm going to have him sign Dart, which is exciting. So that's what I'm doing Friday. And then.
But Dart isn't on there either. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, there's Dart.
And then we're going to head over
to the beach.
To the beach. We're going to be gone for the weekend. So I'm excited. We're going to take an unplug weekend, which is super nice.
Okay. Nobody cares about that. Let's answer more questions.
Rambling at this point. If you have $1,500 liquid capital, should I do RA, OA, or get into wholesale? If you're brand spanking new to Amazon, I highly recommend that you get into RA, OA first. That way you understand how Amazon works. Because the more you understand how Amazon works, the more value you can bring to a vendor in wholesale. So that's why I recommend it.
And if you, well, I don't know. Everyone was always telling people to start with books if you're brand new to Amazon. Books have changed a lot though in the last
money
year. Yeah, there's still money. But just the fees and stuff have changed so much that
what does the tactical arbitrage VA do? Run the searches, or do they compile the results for you? So it kind of goes in a phase. So step one was I would run all the searches myself, and then it pops out. You can download the CSV file, which is an Excel sheet of all the finds, right? A couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand products. I would give that to the VA. They would source through it and filter it down to the good stuff, then give it back to me, and then I would double check and then order my products that way. But once you get to the next step, they handle all of it. So I actually have a team of 3 and I have 2 tactical arbitrage accounts that they use, and then I have one for my personal use now. But they will run the searches, and of course, this has taken. I've been doing this for 2 years now with a VA, with at least one VA at all times. So for the last 2 years, I've given feedback. I've had to fire at least 8 different VAs, if not 10.
Yeah.
We've had to cycle through a few of them to find some good ones, but I found some really, really solid ones, a good team right now. That I've given them a lot of feedback, worked with them, trained them over the last few months. And they're doing amazing right now.
Yeah. I mean, you can go through an agency that will have people already trained on tactical arbitrage. You pay a little bit more. Yeah. But you're also saving time because you're not training those people. Yeah,
it just depends on what you want to do with your goal. So right now, our personal team, they do all of it. I tell them to have variety in the different stores. I have certain stores I like to source more, so I tell them to do those ones a few days a week. I give them feedback, but aside from that, they will do all of it. Every single morning, I open up my account. If you're on an Instagram, you'll see sometimes I do a little, I'll post it on stories mode, our morning list. That's all sourced by our VAs, and then I do my final check each morning. It takes me about, I'd say 20 minutes max, sometimes 30 minutes if they give me a lot of leads, but usually about 20 minutes a morning versus like 2 hours is what when I was doing TA myself, it was like 2 hours because I would scan thousands of products and then come back and I would have to manually check all pieces of data on all of them.
It was rough, and by the time he was done, some of the stores were out of stock.
And then you deal with out of stock. The OA game, online arbitrage, it's a speed game, guys. VAs, they are lifesavers. They're amazing.
And they're really wonderful people. Most of our VAs have just been awesome. So grateful to have work and to be paid well. So they usually work pretty hard.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sean also was in Goonies too.
Goonies, yeah, which was filmed here in Oregon.
The Goonies Funkos just came out, so I haven't gotten any yet. Oh. They just came out. I think it was last week or the week before, something like that.
That would be really cool if you could get his Funko.
Do we use a CPA that specializes in online business? Our personal CPA doesn't specialize in online business, but he has a very good understanding on how the whole thing works. I've been using him even before Amazon. I was using him. I think this was our 6th year, 5th or 6th. I just met with him this morning, actually. So I get to pay taxes.
He's actually kind of learned through us, maybe a little bit, because he's wants to help us and doesn't want us to leave. He's been
fantastic. Guys, a good CPA is like in any business. I don't care if it's Amazon or not. Any business, a good CPA.
Gold.
I can't even I can't put it. I tell my guy every year, I'm like, I don't care how much you put on my invoice. Like,
yeah,
I'll pay you whatever it takes, because they know the ins and outs of all the tax write-offs and the tax breaks and codes and all this kind of stuff I never even think about. Like today when we met this morning, and we're going through our itemized deductions that I had written out. We were writing off some of our utilities, because last year we spent 11 out of the 12 months we were running our business out of our house and our garage. So you can write off a portion of your utilities and your bills. And so we're going through the list. He's like, yeah, you can deduct garbage too. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah. I can deduct my garbage? And so I called Trista. I'm like, how much do we pay for garbage? It was like $90 every 3 months. So it's not a huge write-off, but man, it's something. Yeah. So yeah, a good CPA knows that stuff. And they can look at your state, even down to your city, and know the different tax breaks and all that kind of stuff you get. Tim Glass said, oh wait, I forgot this one up here. What site do you all use to find a virtual assistant? That is Upwork.com. We're not sponsored or anything by Upwork. It's just
we'd like to be.
That would be amazing. If anyone from Upwork is watching this, I recommend you guys all the time. So right. You can hook a brother up. That'd be great.
Yeah.
At least with some free hours. Yeah. What should I sell for my first Q4? Amazon 2 days in with $200 in sales with 4 things. What's the best toy, etc. for the money for Q4? Tim, it's way too early to determine what's going to be the best toy for Amazon during Q4, because every year is a new toy. Especially last year, like 2 years ago was Hatchimals. That was the toy. Last year it was like 5 to 10 different
toys. There were a lot of toys.
There was a lot of toy grind going on. So this year it's too early to tell. But I mean, here's the thing with Q4, guys. It's not just toys. Everyone goes for toys because it's the kind of the low hanging fruit. It's easy to buy, easy to sell.
Cheaper by cost than
sometimes, but any category is going to see an increase during Q4. So you can really sell any category. Just buy stuff that has a good sales rank and a good sales history. So Keepa is crucial when it comes to that, because you can look at stuff like toys, for example. You can look at toys that were selling well during last Q4, and you can kind of see what the prices went for. And then when that drop happened, you can make your decisions that way too.
Yeah.
Hi from Italy. What's up?
Wow. That's awesome. Exciting. I've been to Italy.
I haven't. She's constantly like, oh, I've been to that country. I've been to that country. How were you? 16?
Yeah. I traveled before.
16, and we had just met like a year later. She's like, yeah, I've been to Europe. I'm like, really?
We're gonna go.
At the time, I hadn't even been out of Oregon. Like, yeah. I was born in Alaska, but we flew down here and moved here when I was 4, so I don't remember hardly anything. But yeah, at the time,
we've traveled a lot since.
Yeah, we've been all over the place now.
Okay.
Shout me out. My name is Brooke. What's up, Brooke?
Hi, Brooke.
Shout out. There's your official shout out. When selling on eBay, to pay for shipping or not to, pay for shipping or not to, which way do you think is better? Because without paying for shipping, I can sell for a lower price. It's 50-50. If you talk to 10 people, you're going to have half of them are going to say free shipping always. And then the other half are like, I charge shipping and I do just fine. We personally do free shipping on our stuff, especially because we want to keep the top rated now. So we're doing the free shipping and all that good stuff that goes with it.
Free returns, all that good stuff. Yeah, you just include the shipping price. What we do is we include the shipping price in that final price, so if I know that most of the stuff I ship is first class, so it's a little easier because everything's under $4 for me to ship.
Not my ink and toner.
Not your toner. Definitely not.
Some of those things are like, they're huge.
So yeah, I just include it in. And so if I tack on an extra $3 or $4, I did charge shipping back when we first started, and then I switched, and I guess I don't know. It's hard to say, it's trial and error. And if you just find that you hate free shipping, then try to charge shipping for a while. There's there's a way to bulk edit all of your listings. So you could turn off free shipping and add shipping to, you know, a lot of your stuff. So you can try it. We do free shipping just because eBay wants to promote that, and we want to promote better sales. And as far as the returns go, you know, where do you shop that you don't get to return? You know, so I'd rather offer the free returns and get more sales, because inevitably that's what's happening. So,
and with your price points, guys, I think there's always a big misconception, especially when you're new, because if you hear the term free shipping, you're like, well, I'm going to lose more money if I'm doing free shipping. No. You can work the shipping into your price point. So, for example, I don't math very well, but let's try to do some easy numbers so I don't lose my thought here.
Sure.
Work with me, guys. We're going to do an item for $10 price point. Okay. You want to sell it for $10. So you could do $10 plus, if it's a clothing item, like $4 for shipping, or is it $3 that you pay? It's like $277 or something like that.
No, it went up, but it's fine. So it's
let's say
$3.60 to $4.
I'll say $4. You can do $10 plus $4, and that's what the item is going to cost, and then they have their shipping on top of that. Or you can do $14 with free shipping. Try both methods and see what works for you, because every storefront is different and every method is going to be different that people like to do. So try both and see what works for you. Just because you're offering free shipping doesn't mean it's necessarily losing money. So don't feel like you have to have a lower price point with free shipping. You just incorporate it in, even if you want to split the difference and do like $12 free shipping. So then you're technically losing like $2. If that makes sense to you guys. So you kind of work with it that way. You could do a flat rate shipping. Some people do that for their clothing items. They'll just do like a flat, $2 shipping or something like that. We know people that do every method, and they all are successful. So there's no one way that's going to get you better success than the other. It just comes down to trial and error and knowing what works for you.
Absolutely.
What's up, Wade's Venture, the house?
I will say, though, that sometimes I pay attention to my competition, and if everyone is charging shipping, I will offer free shipping if it's on a specific item. If it's just like a regular top that, whatever. But if it's, a pair of high-end boots and there's, 50 of the exact same pair, and almost everyone is offering or not offering free shipping, then I will offer free shipping, and it does help with my sell-through for sure. Hi, Wade. Sorry, I was paying attention just there. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, man.
You're so sweet.
Got a super chat from Wade.
Super chat from Wade.
Go give him a follow. He's got both a YouTube channel and Instagram, so go check him out. Yeah. Another Portland native, Hillsboro.
Yeah, pretty much
Hillsboro,
the same.
Beaverton. Yeah, you're Hillsboro.
We're doing a meetup on Saturdays, not this Saturday.
Super random pop-up dinner. We're going to do just
see you there.
Open invite next Saturday night. I'm going to do if you guys just hopped on, we're going to do a pop-up Portland meetup. Just casual, laid back. We got a little place booked that can hold like 20, 30 people, 20-ish, somewhere around there. So next Saturday night, the 21st at 6 p.m. And there's going to be a event page down in the description below.
Yep. Okay, we'll stop pimping it out. I'm sorry.
Come eat food with us.
Come eat food.
What do you know about selling groceries on Amazon? I like it. It makes us money.
We look like lunatics, though, when we find something good at a grocery store. We have carts and carts of whatever. And
there was one grocery product you weren't too happy about it. I got 1,400 of them. I went deep on them,
but we weren't carting thousands of them out of stores. We were paying other people
one
to
store
do that,
I got 200 at one store.
Yeah,
and they looked at me kind of upside down on that one. But
yeah,
groceries on Amazon, A-okay in my book. Make sure your expiration dates are on point. That's all I gotta say. Don't order stuff. The hard part with online arbitrage and grocery is you sometimes, unless they state it on the listing, sometimes you have no idea. Like if you order groceries off Target, they might send you stuff that's going to expire in 2 months and you can't send that to Amazon. So if you're going to do groceries on Amazon, please look at the whole grocery guideline that they have in their whole FAQ and all that.
Wait, go back.
Oh, did I miss one? Oh, there we go. Jason. How dirty are your hands after raiding the thrift bids?
So he wants to know. So
dirt under his wait.
He said, how dirty are your fingers after going to the bins? Just found bins last week and it's a gold mine besides the dirt under the fingernails. That's gross. I don't really notice. I mean, there's definitely like, I carry.
You wash your hands after, don't you?
I don't just wash my hands. I carry a fanny pack with hand sanitizer, and I would say probably every 20 minutes.
Does that mean we're gonna get one of the Roots fanny packs when they come out with them? That could be your bins pack.
I need a bins pack. I have a fanny pack. I'm packing the sanitizer for sure.
So funny.
But I'm glad that you found stuff. I love hearing that people go to the bins. There's so many people who are afraid of them, and there's just so much gold to be found. I love it. So
Troy asked, do we have and or use a tax permit? We personally don't, because Oregon does not have sales tax, so we don't have a reseller's permit or anything like that. So we personally don't have a use for one. If I am like I'm transitioning from retail arbitrage into, I want to do full-time wholesales is my main goal in life right now. I will say that we do have a mock-up Oregon reseller certificate that Oregon.gov website has. So it's a very basic one we just fill out. But if you are in another state and you need that, then just do it. Some of them cost money, and that's fine. It's a business expense. You need that to get in. If you want to go in like Walmart, you can use it to get tax exempt. Don't pay your sales tax there. And then if you're working with vendors, they'll take that too. What's the best way to get ungated in grocery? You got to start out this process before last minute, before Q4. All right, let me give you a piece of information that most people charge like $99 for. Okay.
This is valuable.
Everyone overcomplicates getting ungated and stuff.
They really do.
It's way more simple than people make it out to be. Here's how you get ungated in groceries. You could do it a couple different ways. You can use an online website distributor, or what I prefer is Google. Okay, you ready for this? This is the secret.
Go to Amazon first and see if you get auto ungated.
Yes, that's
sometimes
first.
That happens.
So go into Amazon, your Seller Central, go to inventory, add product. Just type in the word grocery or like jam or something like that. It will say listing limitations apply. Click it and then hit. And if you get auto approved right then and there, it'll say you're auto approved in grocery. Now, please, no matter which way you get ungated, if you get into grocery, please read the description, the guidelines for groceries. You have to understand certain prepping. You have to understand certain expiration date guidelines, all that fun stuff. You have to understand like multi-packs with glass you can't do. So you have to understand the ins and outs of how that works. But here's how you do it. Google search. So for us, I would type in Portland grocery distributor. Okay. Your city and then grocery distributor. Find a local grocery distributor. Order, and if you go to Amazon, again, you should do this either way. Go to Amazon and go to add a product, type in jam or grocery or Hershey's or whatever, hit apply, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need. Typically, it's going to be you need an invoice from an authorized distributor that shows a quantity of 10. Okay, so I play it safe, order 15. Order 15 units. People pay for this information. Blows my mind. It blows my mind. People like pay for this information.
Right, it's happening, you guys. It's happening right now.
Order, if you're taking notes, please take notes. Order 15 units of a product that is already on Amazon. I don't care if it's selling or not. Just it has to be on Amazon.
If it's selling, that's
even better. But here's the thing: it's like you're not gonna open up you're not in this to like make profit. And this is the hard thing for people to wrap their heads around. I don't care if you make profit on this order. You just need the invoice to get ungated. I don't care what products you're buying. Like just buy stuff you're going to eat yourself, right? That's the cool part about grocery. If you get customer returns that are typically or not customer returns, but if you get products like we had Oreos. I bought way too many of one type of Oreo that I sold through about half, but then we had about 30 bags of Oreos come back. Like, I'm not too butthurt about that. Like I get lifetime supply of Oreos.
I have to do the fitness challenge now because I ate too many Oreos.
So with that, you're going to open up a wholesale account with a local grocery distributor, not a retail store. Let me clarify, not a retail store.
What was that?
Not a retail store.
Not.
No. Not. Amazon does not like retail receipts anymore for getting Ungated and grocery. They will not accept them. Go get an account with a local grocery distributor. 2, look at their catalog and cross-check on Amazon. Find something they carry that's on Amazon. Amazon listing on that product will have something called an ASIN, which is basically a product code that Amazon uses. On your invoice, when you order those 15 units, and do a few different products, by the way, don't just order one product, 15 units. Do like 3 different units or 3 different SKUs, 3 different types of products, 15 units each. You don't even need that many. You probably do fine on 2. I just play it safe, so order 3 if you can. Again, just get cheap stuff you're going to consume yourself. It doesn't matter. But you're going to write the ASIN on each of those that match up on your invoice. Make sure it has your distributor information. So their business name, their phone number, their email, their address, has your business information on it, has those ASINs on it. Take a photo of it. You can't, some people do it, some people don't. At least the method that I'm familiar with. Take a picture of it and then email that to Amazon. That's how you get Ungated. And guess what? If they decline you on that, close the case out, try it again the next day, because it just comes down to the Amazon rep. Back in early days when health, beauty, and grocery were like the big 3 that were gated, for me to get Ungated with beauty, I used the same invoice 4 different times in a row. And I got approved on the 4th time. So it just depends on the rep that you get. From what I've heard and seen from some of our clients and that kind of stuff, don't send in on a Friday. I think most people are just pissed by the end of the week and they don't want to deal with you. I see a lot of people get declined on Fridays for some reason. So send it on like a Monday or something, maybe Tuesday, where they're still chill. So that's how you do it. That's awesome. Oh Joseph just got approved in grocery because of that information.
That is the bomb.
So that means he got auto approved. So it looks like they're still doing auto approvals. So go check it out. That is amazing. Nice work, Joseph. Now your next step is to go read how to sell grocery.
Okay, so that's the show. Bye, guys.
Thank you and good night. We're done.
That was good. That's so cool.
I'm not gonna ask for money for basic information like that.
It is basic information. You can find it if you ask.
Now, if you would have been in the VIP group that we have, you would have already known that.
You would have already known.
We share a lot of stuff back there.
Yep. Okay, we're catching up. Hang on. Okay, we didn't answer that question.
Did we get the ones above that?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh man, Central Oregon, if you like the snow and 100-degree summers. We've talked about moving over to Bend, which is Central Oregon. But yeah, the swings of seasons that Bend gets, it's an amazing area. I love it. Bend is the only other area in Oregon I would live in.
Yeah. But
I just don't know if I can deal with like the heavy snow and then like the 100-degree summer days.
Our area, the Valley for sure, Portland area, there's a huge housing shortage. So you might take that into, there were people asking about moving to Oregon, how we love Oregon.
I don't like the rain. I'm actually burnt out right now.
He's burnt out of the rain. But
seasonal depression is a thing up here. Like we've had rain for about 5 or 6 months straight now.
Yeah.
And we're at that teaser phase in Oregon. Oregon teases you right this time of year.
April, May.
Because
we'll have to power through April and May, and then summer's here.
Did you see today?
I know. Today was bad.
I was pissed half of today.
So
it was sunny when I got outside. I'm like, I'm going to get to the office. I'm going to open up the big garage door. It's going to be amazing. And then I get to the office and it starts hailing and raining.
It was bad.
I'm like, I'm so over the seasonal thing right now. That's just me complaining.
Okay.
Just being real with y'all.
Sorry, you guys. We're just reading.
Oh, I love it. Wade, we just got to your super chat message. It says go on a date night. I love it. We will definitely do that.
Date night.
We're going to the coast this weekend, so we'll take a date night.
Have you?
Go to that one. Hey Chaz, I could have sworn I saw a video about Frankenboxing, but I can't find it. Did you? It was not on YouTube. It would have been on Instagram. I did a Frankenboxing. I think it might still be on my main Instagram account. If you go to Side Hustle Pros on Instagram, I don't remember if it was a stories mode or not. I haven't done an official YouTube video on it, but I probably will.
Write it down.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a huge videos idea list I need to start working on. Frankenbox. All right, I'll get that video up for you guys.
Yeah. Somebody said that the bins ruin them for regular Goodwill because everything's so cheap. I feel the same.
She freaks out if anything costs more than like $6.
I really do. I have a hard time with that. So my new rule, and it's been working pretty well the last month, is that if I go into regular Goodwill and it's not on the sale tag, so if I'm paying more than $5 for it, I have to make like $50 for me to be able to justify spending over $10 for some item, like, so I bought a pair of boots for $12.
These are the Sorel, those tan ones that starts with an S.
Sam Edelman.
Oh, what's that? Edelman? I forgot what the name was.
These are the boots I'm talking about.
Oh, Edelman's. Gotcha.
I bought some Sam Edelman boots and they were $12. The comps were all really good in the $45, $55 range. So I bought those because I could justify it. I'm not going to go in to Goodwill and spend $7 on a top, which is what our Goodwill typically charges, so that I can maybe make 15. That's not a good buy to me. So, if it's not on sale, and usually if I get stuff on sale, it's between $250 and $450 an item. If I can turn that $250 to $450 into $20, $25, awesome. But I can't justify spending a lot of money on these items. Our Goodwills just are high. They like high and high. Like they just want so much for their stuff. So
somebody asked if I'm the side hustler. No, our name is Side Hustle Pros. I noticed recently there's a lot of like side hustle names coming out. But I can verify we've had ours for like 2 years. What softwares do I use? Storefront, Stalker Pro. So let me start with like my big main ones I use just on a daily basis. We use Tactical Arbitrage and BrickSeek are going to be my top two. And then we use just the smaller ones, Rev ROI. These are all things, by the way, you can find them. They are affiliate links. So if you choose to support it, thank you. If you don't want to support the affiliate links, that's fine. You can just go to the websites and get it yourself. But if you want to check it out, group description or not, I would say group. I'm so used to going live in groups.
I know.
Not group description. The video description down below will have all the links at the bottom of the description. But I use Rev ROI. I'm a huge fan of Chris Grant and Nate McAllister, by the way. They're the two developers of a lot of these softwares. Storefront Stalker Pro is definitely another one that's a crucial aspect when you're using Tactical Arbitrage for the reverse search on the bestsellers list. And I think... App Eagle. So that's my repricer I started several months ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. App Eagle. That one is pricey. It's $150 a month, but it has been 100% worth it in our opinion. We had our best sales day the day I turned it on. We had almost a $5,000 day.
He would go through every Sunday and reprice everything.
I was repricing manually.
Like hours.
Yeah, it would take me like an hour and a half to reprice all my stuff manually. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I'll just pay the $150, do their trial, and I'll see if it works. And man, I turned it on in the morning and I was like blown away. Now that's not going to say you're going to have $5,000 days all the time, but you'll have a big spike in those first couple days. And then once your big inventory sells out, then it levels out, but it does stay extremely consistent. I've been super happy with that. And
that's a really good example of outsourcing, but not necessarily needing a person to outsource.
Yeah,
you're just outsourcing your repricing. Literally, he was doing this manually, and it would take him like 2 to 3 hours every Sunday.
It was like an hour and a half. Sometimes, if I did a deep dive, it was sometimes I did during church. That's so bad, but I did.
Dear Jesus. We're sorry.
I can't really, I mean, there's other small softwares I use, but they're not as consistent. Those are going to be my top ones. You guys, when it comes to softwares, like you don't need softwares to run your business, but if you want to scale your business, yes, I highly recommend them. Oh my gosh, we got another one. We got 2 grocery approvals.
That's so cool.
Right here live. That's amazing.
So if you guys are watching the recording of this, you have to tell us, drop it down in the comments if it worked or not. Of course it's gonna work.
I could have just made you like $20,000 over the next year. Like
thank you for the super chat.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Joseph, super chat.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Oh my gosh. I keep losing my space.
I know that's the YouTube chat. It bumps down for some reason.
Does playing getting new? Yeah.
I tried and did not get approved in grocery, but I'm very new. Does that play a factor? Yes, it does. If you're looking at auto approvals, I mean, you guys, grocery is only one thing you can get auto approved in. And I'm super curious if this is going to work for you guys. Go to that same method, go to add a product and then type in any brand you know you're restricted in and hit apply, whether it's Disney, Star Wars, Mattel, whatever. Add in a brand, click on one of those listings where it says listing limitations apply and hit apply. And chance if you have good selling metrics. So it's hard on brand new accounts. Don't get me wrong. It's hard on brand new accounts because Amazon doesn't trust you yet, right? You have to earn that right. But if you have some sales history and good metrics, that gives you a much better chance of getting auto approved. So give that a shot. So I'd be super curious whether you're watching the recording or live, give that a shot in a couple of your brands that you want to get Ungated in. If you get auto approved, just comment below and let us know.
Yeah.
And also give me one of these. Give me one of those thumbs up. Or what's the term we all use? It's smash the like button.
Smash that like button.
Smash it. Is Jungle Scout the only way to see sellings? I'm starting to see the big picture, but still not ready to invest 1K or more without the knowledge of knowing if my product is going to sell or not. Here's my opinion on Jungle Scout. You don't need it. Don't need it at all. Here's number one tool in your Amazon business, and it's free. Keepa. Keepa.com. 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 This is going to show you sales history and rank of any product on Amazon. This is going to be more accurate than any sales chart. It's going to be more accurate than Jungle Scout. It's going to be more accurate because it's not going based on current rank. Everyone will scan a product, and if they see a toy that's ranked 400,000, they're going to be like, that's too high of a rank. I'm not even going to look at that. I'm not going to buy that. It's 400,000 in toys. That's so high. But if you look at Keepa, you might see that it's high because there's no FBA sellers. There's only merchant. You might see it's high because it's out of stock. You might see it's a high rank because the price is like $5 too high. If you brought the price down a little bit, it would start selling. So don't look at current sales rank, guys. Look at Keepa, check the history. Those spikes, if the more of this you see on Keepa, the green spikes, the faster it's selling.
You're going to hit yourself in the face.
I almost did. I almost did. I'm super passionate, by the way, about ranks on Amazon.
Yeah,
because I fell into that trap for like my first year doing Amazon. I didn't buy a lot of stuff because I'm like, oh, that's a high rank. Even though if I looked at the sales history, which I did not do in the beginning, if I looked at the sales history, I would have seen why it was a high rank and I would have fixed it. I bought 2 units of a toy that was ranked 400,000. That's why I love using that example. This wasn't even that long ago. It was like maybe a month and a half ago. I bought 2 units of this toy that was ranked 400,000. And because I looked at, there was no prime sellers. There was only like 8 or 10 merchant people on it. We all know that FBA is going to sell quicker and for more money typically, right? So I knew that there was no FBA. It was ranked 400,000. I looked at Keepa. I'm like, well, when there was FBA sellers that had a faster rank. So let me see what happens. I sent them in and both of them sold within 2 weeks. Eat it, rank.
Eat it, rank.
Keepa. That's
okay, wait, don't scroll. Don't
did you have one?
Yeah. Buy box percentage.
What is the ideal buy box percentage on App Eagle? I have no idea. I don't know how App Eagle works. I don't know about any of that stuff, but that's what I pay it to do. Right? I don't know how my microwave works, but it heats up my food. Like, I just care about the result. I just know if I'm not getting as many sales as I want, I go adjust some stuff in App Eagle. I don't know what the best buy box percentage is. That's just my personal opinion.
That is funny stuff.
You can take it or leave it.
Are you reading these as you're scrolling?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Trying to judge me, woman? We're both tired.
You are silliness.
You had coffee. I didn't. I'm on
did.
loopy energy now. Would Gordon's food service store work as a wholesale distributor? I'm not familiar with it. Are you? Gordon's food service? I don't know. And that just might be a regional thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we're on the West Coast, and we have stores that you guys don't have on the East Coast. What's that grocery store in Florida that... Do you remember?
I don't know. I was reading this. It said I did get approved in Barbie. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, nice. Joseph got a auto approve for beauty. That's amazing, man.
Cool. I'm going to believe this.
Legos.
Whoa.
Yes.
Just keep going, man. Keep going. Run
with it. Run with it. That's amazing.
Awesome.
This is going to be the one episode that changed a lot of people's business. For the very low price of free fitty free.
Free fitty free.
You like that? She deals with this all day, by the way.
All day long.
You always ask the question when you watch like YouTubers or Instagrammers, like, is that how they are in real life?
This is how we are in real life.
We actually joke around our whole warehouse. We want to have cameras recording 24/7.
Nobody wants to see this.
To show like this is how, I don't know.
Nobody wants to
I'm
see
just
that.
I'm just a odd personality type, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's a good one.
I'm sorry.
YouTube chat, don't bump down.
Stop it.
When there's no FBA, how much higher do you price your FBA over the current merchant seller? That's a
Great
really good question.
Yeah.
Some people will go
that.
as high as they can because they're looking to make the best profit, which I get, but I'm also looking at the customer experience, right? So I'll go like 25% higher, somewhere around there. Not to say I haven't gone higher, like Q4. I'll be greedy in Q4. I'll just put that out there. I am greedy in Q4.
People are willing to pay ridiculous
People
prices.
are paying stupid amounts for. I'm not even going to tell you guys what I sold a fingerling for. I'm not even going to put it out there. But I will. I'm out to make money in Q4, just because that's like you've got this 8-week window to like you can make your whole money in
Publix. That's what it is.
Sorry. Oh yeah, Publix. That's what it was. Yeah, you can make all your money in 8 weeks during Q4 for your year. Some people make insane amounts of money.
No, we do not drop ship. Can't talk about it because we don't do it.
Negative.
Auto approve.
So auto approve means if you go onto Amazon, there's certain categories or brands that are restricted and you have to provide Amazon some information. Each one's different, but in general, they always want an invoice showing that you bought from a distributor. So you have to buy from a distributor, give them the invoice, and that approves you for the category. Auto approval means throughout some weird, I don't think anyone understands how it's working, but throughout some Amazon metrics thing, if you just hit apply, like you're just approved right then and there. You don't need an invoice.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean with auto approval.
Can you answer this one?
I tried to apply for grocery approval and I saw sell yours. I tried this for jam, margarine, butter, and even Nutella. It says sell yours doesn't mean I've been auto approved. Yes, it does. Type in other stuff too, because all those that you just put in are like kind of similar in that. So type in stuff like, Triscuit crackers, rice, like try different types. But if they don't show restricted, you're approved.
Fun fact, that's one of my nicknames.
Trisket. It's true.
Trisket.
And Twister.
And Twister.
There's another one. I always call you Tris.
Yeah, it's not a fun nickname.
Hey, we just made a sale.
Should I do free or paid Amazon?
Should I do free or paid Amazon? Ship myself or use Amazon ship? $1,000 to good start. Yeah, you can start with $1,000
for sure.
Here's the thing. Like everyone always asks, like, what's the best amount to start with? The more money you start with in the selling game, the better off you're going to be. Like the faster you're going to scale, all that good stuff comes from more capital put into it. But $1,000 is definitely a good start. We start with $500. That was my first little, like, I remember when I asked you, I came back from my little Amazon conference I took to learn about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I came back, I'm like, babe, I'm going to need to take like $500 out. Like I need this money to use.
Yeah.
And that's what I started with was 500.
Yep. True story.
But as far as what you start with the free version, right? Which is called the individual account. So you don't pay the $40 a month for a pro account. You can start that way, but after you start selling 40 items or more, you want to upgrade because they're charging you $1 per item sold. So it only makes sense to switch over. And you, with a pro account, the $40 a month, which is just a flat 40, doesn't matter how much you sell on Amazon, FBA, is going to be covering you to get ungated and stuff. You can't do that if you're just an individual free account. So I recommend it. If you're going to make this a business, just go in and do it. I highly recommend do FBA over merchant filling, unless you have certain situations. Like right now I am in the program to do merchant filled, but I'm prime merchant filled. So I get the prime logo next to my listing and I'm doing 2-day shipping on my stuff. And it's a wholesale product that I'm making more doing that than I am FBA. So certain products, for some weird reason, you're going to make more. And I'm selling, today was a new record. We sold 10 this morning. So I shipped out 10 things this morning, merchant filled prime.
It's catching on.
Yeah, so it's catching on. And we're not even running ads on it yet. So once we hit ads and keywords, I think we're going to get up to like 20 or 30 a day.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just one weird example of merchant filled prime for something.
Okay, so my wife and I just starting out, we usually price. Oh, it moved. Price very cheap because we need it to turn quickly. So if I list the only FBA, I will price cheap to move quick.
If you're the only FBA seller, I would price a little bit higher.
Yeah, it'll still move fast.
Yeah, it's still going to move fast, and you're going to get a little bit more money out of it. If you have competition, right? If you've got like 20, 30, 40, 50 sellers on a listing, that's when you start to move stuff a little bit quicker, just so you're not caught in a price tank somewhere.
Yeah.
And you guys, when you get into selling too, you have to understand the business model you want to do, because there's two main ones, right? You've got the low volume but high ROI, and then you've got a high volume, low ROI. And that means if you are selling stuff for a lower, like if you're going to take on, if you spend $10 on a product and you see a $3 return, like a profit, right? We call that a 30% markup, a 30% ROI. So you can do 30%, but you have to do high volume. You have to sell a lot of them every month to get whatever profit number you want to hit for your goals. Or you can do the opposite, which is you buy something for 10 and you want to double your money. It's going to be typically a slower sell or slower sale, but you get more money out of it, and then you don't have to sell as much. So it's kind of we do a combination of both.
Yep.
But some people like to do one or the other. But in the beginning, I highly recommend you do quick flips. Mm-hmm. Flip that stuff as quickly as you can, just to build up your cash flow. And once you have a larger cash flow, then you can get into bigger purchases, holding on to product longer for a bigger ROI, that kind of stuff.
Yep. There was another, how often, let's see, where?
Actually, there's one. How often does Amazon remove your listing because of customer complaints? Not hardly. I don't think we've ever had a listing removed because of a customer complaint. Mm-mm. Have we ever been suspended? No, because we follow the rules.
Follow the rules.
Just follow the rules. You won't get suspended. You want to do that one?
This one?
Wait, which one are you looking at?
I don't know.
I'm looking at Yeah.
As a first timer, what items categories would you suggest to start with? This, okay, it depends on eBay and Amazon. For eBay, we always tell people to sell things they like because it's, easy to learn that if you like it.
Typically, the more knowledge you have on something because you enjoy it, the better deals you can snipe. Like if you love video games, you can walk into any garage sale and you can look at a video game and know the value. So that's super helpful to have.
But you're leaving money on the table if you don't think about these other categories. So branch out. And if you're going at this from an Amazon customers behave differently than eBay customers too.
Different animal.
Yeah. So with Amazon, even though you like this brand of cereal, the other brand is selling super well. So you have to be more mindful of the data and less about your gut in that situation.
But as far as like generic categories are good to start with, books are amazing because you can go buy them for under $1 typically and sell them for 30, 40, 50 bucks, even over 100. There's plenty of people that sell books over 100 bucks. So cheap buy costs, you can find them everywhere, thrift stores, Goodwills, etc. Book sales, library sales. So that's a really good category to start in. And then toys, of course. Toys is going to be the low-hanging fruit, though, so it's going to be a lot more competition, lower return. But as long as you're doing volume, to make up for it, then you can make a business out of it. That's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
Until we had cash flow. Once we built up cash flow, now we're getting into wholesale because wholesale, you need to put in a little bit larger bankroll into it.
And think about, what you buy online or just in a retail store. You don't go out and buy, a new toy every week, but you do go out and buy groceries every week. So think about those things. If you want to have more consistent sales on Amazon, maybe you should look into things that people are using every single week or every single month, even rather than once or twice a year.
That's what I love about the grocery category. One, it's gated, so a lot of people are not willing to jump through the hoops to get ungated, so there's less competition.
That really hard hoop that we just told you.
Super hard one. I literally just saved a bunch of you money because you don't have to pay anyone to tell you that. And then number 2 is groceries. You can find replens, which is things you can replenish your inventory every single month because people that buy certain groceries on Amazon are always going to hunt down that brand on Amazon. They're always going to be repeat buyers. Not always, but there's a good chance they will be. So that's a really, really good thing to get into.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, we made it to the bottom.
We made it to the bottom. And you guys, I think we're going to be done soon. So if you have any quick questions, get them in now. Somebody said, okay, I'll do 2,000. What should I start with, toys or clothing? I'm in Central California and wanting to maximize profits. Scan both. Do a little tester of each. We don't know your area. We don't know if you're going to be doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage, if you're going to sell on Amazon only or do both Amazon and eBay. So there's a lot of, deciding factors on what's going to make your business run the best. And the only way you're going to find out is just to try them.
Yeah.
So start scanning.
Yeah, no, that would be my answer too, is try both and see which one does well for you. There's no reason why you can't split and put $1,000 into each. If you have $2,000 to start with, put $1,000 into each and see what happens. Yeah. If you see that on your $1,000 in clothing, you only made a $300 profit, but in toys, you made a $400 profit, then go into toys. Or you can just dabble in both, right? You can build both of them too.
And there's a huge learning curve at the beginning because I can't tell you how many bad buys we made at the beginning. You have to spend the time to learn the data, learn how to read the data. It's so important.
I was auto-approved for, just scroll down. I was auto-approved after doing a peanut butter brand search. Does that now mean I can sell in any category under grocery? Yes, but certain brands might be restricted. Because right, it's a combination of different doors. Grocery is like the first door, right? But let's say you walk into your house, like you open up the door to your front door to your house, that's grocery. But then you have doors that go into the bathroom and the bedroom, and one of those might be locked, right? And that's going to be a brand. So just because you get into grocery, you might run into like, well, Smucker's, the jam is going to be is restricted. So then you have to find a Smucker's specific distributor and do that same process with the invoice. So there can be different levels of restriction. But in general, if you got approved for a grocery item, then typically you're going to be ungated for the whole category, unless you find a brand specific one.
Telemaster, that is so nice to hear. You are so welcome. We love being here and love doing this. And this has been a really fun show watching people get ungated as we're talking.
This has been awesome. I love watching this stuff.
Fun.
I love when people actually like listen to stuff that we say and they do it.
I mean, we're not super smart people. We're just, this is what we've done in the past and what has worked, and we hope it works for you too.
Yeah, that's what this whole channel is based on. It hasn't changed in over 2 years, almost 2.5 years. It's one, to document our journey, and two, share little bits of information that we learn along the way. And if it works for some people, that's awesome. Like if we can help a few people that make their own money and start living life on their terms and living their own time freedom, like my job is done.
Yeah.
If we can, I live for helping people do that. If
we can help some mommies stay home, if that's what you want, I'm all about that. I'll help you all day. Okay.
Actually, I saw one that'd be good for you to answer. Scroll up or down.
Thanks for this super chat, Gomez.
Hey, thank you.
Okay. Oh no, I've lost it.
Let me try to find.
Okay, you do it.
I saw one. How do you juggle being a parent and a reseller? That's an episode in itself.
Yeah. We are so fortunate. We have an insane support group of just wonderful families that are just rooting for us and helping us succeed. And we are not blind to their sacrifice at all. So they help with childcare whenever we need. We have a set schedule. So my son goes to grandma's house 3 days a week, and those are the days that I get my work done here at the office. But I take my work home quite often and do it once the little goes down to bed. He helps me, we help each other.
Yeah, we're getting really good at like checking in with each other, but just on a day-to-day, like, hey, I know you're overwhelmed right now. Do you need help with something?
Yeah.
Like she's a blessing because she handles Titus, our little one, a lot more than I do. She knows that I have a decent sized plate to work with each day. So she allows me the freedom to. I
don't know how he does it. I really don't.
I love what I do though.
Crazy.
I love it. That's how I do it. So no, I'm super, specifically me, I'm super blessed because she handles a lot of the child situation. But if I know that she's overwhelmed, I literally have to force you to like chill. I'll take Titus. We'll go to the pool and you just go do what you need to do.
But if you don't have that support system, there's ways that you can get around this and still put time and work into your business. So, that might mean hiring a babysitter. I did do this for a little while when I couldn't send him to grandma's house or whatever. I'd hire a babysitter to come into the house and watch Titus in the house while I went out in the garage and worked for half of a day. And he wasn't allowed to open the door. They were not allowed to come out into the garage and bug me at all. And I had like incentives, like if you came out to the garage, you didn't get this snack or, so there's ways you can do it.
Well, even like now we had to hire a babysitter.
Yeah, we have a babysitter at our house
so we can come do the show with you guys. And it's something, I mean, especially as a parent, that's the hardest part to let go of control of is your own child, because obviously there's like safety and risk and all that kind of stuff you have to worry about.
Right.
So obviously find somebody you trust for babysitting stuff, but don't be afraid to hire somebody for an hour or 2 hours if you need to get your stuff done and balance it that way.
Yeah. The nice thing though about, so I hired was she 14 or 15 at the time? I think she's like 14 at the time. a 14-year-old girl from our church that we knew. And normally I wouldn't leave a 14-year-old at home by herself with my baby, but I was in the garage. So if there was an emergency, I was right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also able to get massive amounts of work done in that time. So summer's coming up. These kids want to make some money. They will work for you if you ask them.
Another thing I tell people too, because this worked for me a lot, is if you need to just have a straight hour or 2 hours to yourself so you can get all your listings done or whatever you need to do on your computer or online, hire a babysitter to watch your kids or your kid, whatever, in your home. And then you go out to a coffee shop. And I'm telling you, there's something about being in a coffee shop. Like we have an office space now and still we go to coffee shops.
Sometimes we do go to that.
Because there's something about just being in a coffee shop. There's no distraction. That's your usual environment. And you just focus. Like you'll get more done. Before we had an office, we were working out of our garage and it was chaos in there. It was nuts. I would get so much more work done in 2 hours at a coffee shop than typically I would most weeks at home because I was just so focused. So that's one thing you can try out too.
Yes, I do take measurements of all the clothing that I sell. It's a huge part of what, it takes to list clothing on eBay. It's tedious sometimes, but
that's why we outsourced it.
Yeah, that's why I outsourced it. It's not my favorite part. But inevitably, if you don't have those measurements, then people either won't buy your item or they'll message you for the measurements. You have to pull the clothing and redo that process. So, yeah. Okay.
Let's do this one. Is merchant prime invitation only? If not, how do you have the ability to ship prime from your own warehouse on Amazon? Go into Seller Central, and then the top right, there's a search bar. Type in seller fulfilled prime. They're going to give you like a little breakdown of different areas in Amazon you can click and read. And within that, you can apply to take a trial. They'll put you on a 30-day trial. This is what I'm on right now. They'll put you on a 30-day trial. During that trial phase, they're tracking to make sure you're doing 2-day shipping. Everything's shipped out on time, delivered on time with no complaints. If you pass the 30 days, then you're locked in with the ability to do that.
So arbitrage just means sourcing. So online arbitrage is online sourcing. Retail arbitrage or RA is retail sourcing. But don't feel bad. That's a weird word. And if you're new, you wouldn't know what that means.
I had no use for that word in my vocabulary.
We get that question often. It's not weird. eBay does not have any gating system. So you can sell anything. You can't sell everything. But you can sell the things that most people want to buy.
It's more so going to be certain keywords you can't use.
Yeah, there's keywords you can't use.
Like just go onto Google and just type in eBay. Was it Vero? I don't eBay much, so I don't know. Type in Vero, eBay, and you can read all the different words you're not allowed to use. Common ones like anything that's trademarked, basically like Velcro. You can't use the word Velcro because it's trademarked.
Gomez says, I want to make 6,000. He makes 6K at his job, but wants to make 12 a month at home so he can work with his hot wife.
Amen to that.
I love people who love their spouses. It's great.
You said you started with $500. When you sold all of your $500 items, you waited 2 weeks for withdrawal and started again. Yes.
Yep. The nice thing, and we've said this before on other videos, is that eBay, the money is deposited into your PayPal immediately. So there's no turnaround time.
That's the huge benefit. That's why I got into my eBay stuff with ink and toner and stuff.
Yeah. So if you're strapped for cash and you want to get this ball rolling quickly, Amazon still might be the best option for you depending on what you're selling, but definitely look at what you want to sell and kind of cross look at eBay and Amazon. You might find that the comps and the sell through are nearly the same and you'll get that money back that day.
Yep.
It sells. Yep. Okay. I think that this is
we get them
it.
all? Yes, that is. I love what Andrew just asked right there at the bottom. So if you're gated in Amazon for something, there's nothing wrong with selling it on eBay.
Yeah.
That is huge because I was stubborn as crap in the beginning. I did not have an eBay account. I did not want to do eBay at all because I didn't want to ship to customers. I wanted to utilize Amazon FBA and just find products and give it to them. So I made the mistake. I would go into stores and scan some stuff, and I may have been restricted. And then I would be like, oh, I'm restricted. I can't sell it. I'll just move on. If I were to check eBay, I could have seen I can make just as much money on eBay with some of those items. Mm-hmm. So if you are restricted and you don't get auto approved and you don't have a distributor to get approved with, always, 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 always check eBay. Do not say just because it's restricted on Amazon that you can't sell it on eBay. Always check eBay for those sold comps because you would be shocked. Especially with toys. I remember looking up toys, some of the toys I was restricted in during last Q4. Mm-hmm. I checked on eBay and they were selling just as well.
We do have room in our VIP group. Bentley.
I will say we're getting
really close to closing it off though.
I want to say 15 slots. We have about 15 slots left in the VIP group. And after that, I'm going to shut it down for a while. And we're just going to bring the best value possible in that group. And you can find that description in the video here. You can find a direct link. You can go to sidehustleprosvip.com. And if you don't know what that is a private Facebook group that we personally run. We do private training videos in there. I teach you guys. Here's my biggest thing. I give you guys some bolos in there, but I don't want to just shove it full of bolos and then say here you go, buy this stuff, you'll make money. I want to teach you guys more specifically. So I teach you how to fish way more than I do by just giving you the fish. We do share bolos, but for the most part, I'm in there trying to just teach you guys. So we have private weekly hangouts with Zoom video platform. I bring in guest speakers just for the VIP group. Mm-hmm. We have a whole training file that has videos of all the past speakers we've had. I think we've had probably 8. We have 8 to 10 videos up right now with that stuff. And that does run at $20 a month because we put a lot of time and effort into that group for you guys. So we do, I don't know numbers on the top of my head. We have about 15-ish slots and then it's going to be shut down. So if you want to get in, now would be the time. Probably when you see this video tonight would be the best time to get in there because once it's closed, you're not going to be able to find it. It's going to be MIA off the grid for a while.
Yeah. I was just looking for your question, Moad. I think I'm saying your name right. Can I do FBA and sell on Etsy with it? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean like drop shipping to Etsy, you can definitely.
Yep.
I don't know if people do that. Do they do
that?
Yeah,
you create an Etsy store, and then if something on Etsy sells, you can essentially drop ship it from your own product from FBA to Etsy. And that's something called multi-channel fulfillment. It's actually a video I need to do for the channel here and teach you guys. It's very simple to do. It's just a few clicks. Amazon is a fulfillment center. So you actually don't even need to sell on their platform for them to fulfill orders for. We actually do it with a couple eBay products too. You can list stuff on eBay and then have it in Amazon inventory and have Amazon ship it to the customer. Just go to Google search, or I'm sure somebody here on YouTube has done it. But just search for multi-channel fulfillment on Amazon, and it's very easy to do. But yes, you can do that. Mm-hmm. People do it with Amazon merch and Etsy on top of that too. So there's all kinds of different methods to make money with it. How do we get a hold of you? I have something I want to run by you guys. You can email me is probably one of the best ways. Email me at fbarockstars@gmail.com or hit me up on Instagram. Or even Facebook is easy too. Just type in Charles Leslie, Leslie, and you'll find me on Facebook there. Either one of those methods.
Yep. Okay, you guys, we gotta go.
We made it.
So you guys are awesome. Next week, same time, same place.
Thursday.
It's
on. So aside from that, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for tuning in. If anyone got approved, this has been exciting.
This is fun.
If anyone got approved for categories or grocery or anything tonight, comment below. Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Smash that like button. Show us some love. It does help the YouTube channel. It does help us get our videos out in front of you. And it helps us be able to keep doing this for you guys.
Yay.
So aside from that, peace out, crew.
Bye, Tony. See you.
Yeah, next week we'll see you guys. Adios.